The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello and welcome to the Icons of Real Estate podcast. And today we have a special guest. The guest we have today has a very, I would say, infectious smile because wherever she goes and whoever she talks to, she has this thing where she leaves a smile on your face. And one of the things that she's doing to leave a smile on thousands of people's faces is helping them get a home. Who am I talking about? I am talking about Jessie Lang. Jessie, welcome to the Icons
Hi, everyone.
podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, well, we're honored to have you. Jessie, I've been watching some of your Facebook lives and I've seen how you're passionate about real estate investment, but not just real estate investment, in how it benefits you in their career, but in helping people get homes. I've seen you give advice and try to help people get the best loans on that. But I think it's best for us to start from the beginning. How did this come about? How did you get this idea? And be like, I want to be involved in real estate. Can you just tell us your story?
Yeah, so it was an accident. I was an accidental landlord, which is so many people wind up with their first property. I grew up in Austin, Texas. I graduated from college there, and society says you get a job, you buy a house, you have kids, you get married, whatever. So I didn't do all of it, but I did. I got a big girl job, like a corporate career, and then I bought a little condo. So the condo needed a lot of work, and my job didn't really pay the bills. So I was trying to figure out creative ways to make sure that I had money coming in and all that. So I rented out 2 of the rooms to one was my partner at the time, and the other was like a Craigslist roommate. And so they were paying the mortgage, and it was awesome. And then a couple years go by. I was saving a bunch of money. I kind of moved up in my career a little bit, and my partner and I split. So in a matter of 2 weeks, I went from just living my life like day to day to fully being moved out and having 4 college boys renting at my condo. And so that's really how it started. I was just uprooted kind of for my life, and I knew it would be crazy to sell it just in Austin and kind of 2013, 14.
Yeah.
I knew it'd be crazy to sell. So I was like, how do I keep this thing? And how do I get the mortgage covered? And, long-term rental was my obvious choice.
Okay. So you went from that and you went on to have a really big platform on Facebook where you share this information. And one thing that I love about your platform is you are not trying to get people to subscribe to anything. You just switch on the camera and start helping people out. How did that come about? How did you decide that's what you wanted to do?
So real estate fully changed my life. Between when I became an accidental landlord, I bought 2 other properties, so 3 total, that I was house hacking, that I moved into myself, turned the previous ones into long-term rentals. So it fully changed my life. And I moved to Columbus for a job, which obviously I don't do now, but it brought me from Austin to Columbus. And from there, I just saw what was happening in the real estate market, and I had some experience, but I didn't really take it seriously until I moved here. And then I was like, okay, what do I need to do to go all in on real estate and make this a career and create, lifelong wealth? I was going to meetups, I was meeting people, I was getting education, I was paying for education. I have easily spent 6 figures on education in the last couple of years. And so I was doing everything I could to make sure that I was covered and I knew what I was doing. So between that whole process, we're 6 years later. So I went full-time real estate in 2018. That from 2014 to 18, I was learning everything I could. And then it's just kind of a natural progression, right? Like so many people along that journey helped me that it would be crazy and real estate changed my life. So it'd be crazy for me to not share what I know.
And I really commend you for that, because not a lot of people are doing what you're doing. And one question that, we get a lot is people that are trying to get into real estate investment. One of the questions they ask, like, what are some of the effective strategies for managing rental properties, more especially remotely and from a distance? Because that can sometimes be challenging, or at least a lot of people perceive it to be challenging. What are the most effective strategies for managing rentals from afar?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Majority of our units are here in Columbus. I had 3 in Austin. I've since sold 2, so I have 1 left in Austin. Whether you're local or investing remotely, it doesn't really matter. I'll say a lot of my properties I don't even go to, even here. So I'm kind of remote investing, but locally, if that makes sense. But the factor for all of them, it makes it successful, is just having a good team. And your team doesn't have to be like someone you hire full time. Of course, if you just have a handful of rentals, like that doesn't make any sense. But when I say team, I mean third party, if it's 1099, if it's general contractors, just the people that you choose to surround yourself with, mentorship, your peers, all of that. If you are able to connect with people and establish, even if it's just a professional relationship, it doesn't have to be like they're your best friend or something, but you keep good, healthy relationships with your team, then you're going to be fine. And any situation that you come across, like it's never like what you know, it's who you know. And I believe in that like wholeheartedly. So if I don't know what to do next, I always go to my team.
And that's very true. What is that line that people say? Teamwork makes the dream work. And
Yeah,
you
teamwork.
need a team. You really do need a team to build on any dream or goal that you have. So it is a very powerful statement that you just said there. Now, I would like to know from you, based off of your experience, and you've been doing this for a while, what are some of the common pitfalls or mistakes that new rental estate investors should avoid?
Yeah. A big one that we always see is just doing the wrong renovations at the wrong time. We see people try to skimp and then they end up with maintenance nightmares, maintenance headaches. They're out at the property every other week for something that comes up. So we do the right renovations up front. We've prioritized safety and function. And I make sure that the asset that I plan to hold for the next 10 plus years is in really good condition. And I don't mean good condition like HGTV out of a magazine. I mean that the things function like they're supposed to, and it's a safe property.
And that is quite good. And I think one of the questions that I've also had for you is, how do you handle unexpected challenges or crises that arise during property ownership? Because we know sometimes it's not always smooth sailing, but how do you handle that?
I don't want to just say the same answer as a good team, but it really is having the right people and also the right mindset. Just knowing that what you think is a problem today, a year into your career, you're going to look back and be like, oh, that was not a big deal at all. I remember the first time someone paid rent like a few days late and I couldn't sleep and I was having panicking. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm a failure or whatever. We have people pay late all the time and we have processes to help get them caught up and we do that. So it's just, I teach my students when they're going through something like crisis, it feels like a crisis. I say, will you remember this problem 3 problems from now? Whatever problem's happening, 3 more things are going to happen. Will you even remember what this is? And a lot of times the answer is no.
And that is quite true. That is quite true. But what has been your biggest motivator? Like, what's motivated you through those times? Like you just said, like you have a tenant that is late on their rent. You're not even sure if they are going to pay rent. You have so many problems that are arising from this career that you chose, but you soldier on. What gives you that resilience? What's motivating you through those times?
A good team. No, I'm just kidding. That is true. That is
No,
true. But it's not,
the
it's
team is just
yeah.
listening to this and like,
I
yo,
know.
wait.
Yeah. That is true, but I'll say something different. So what keeps me going on is that I'm creating all of this for myself and my family, right? I'm not working for anyone else. I worked really hard. I climbed the corporate ladder. I moved across the country for the job that brought me to Columbus. I've done all that and I've worked really, really hard for someone else. And there's night and day difference of doing that same effort, if not more, like for yourself. And you're not going to see the result in a month, maybe not even in a year, because you're creating something from scratch, right? But we've been investing for 10 years now, full time for 5, and serious about rentals for 3. In the span of 3 years, I went from 11 doors to 70. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that life trajectory in the matter of just 36 months, like what is that? It's nothing in the scheme of your life.
Yeah.
I've shifted from the way I grew up, lower middle class, working forever, to never having to work again if I don't want to in a
I
very
love
short
that.
amount of time. So once you start seeing those results, it's like pretty easy to stay on the path.
And that is true. Once you see the results,
Yeah.
that also motivates you there. So that's very true. So
And it was harder. I will speak now. Obviously, that is easy to say once you're kind of past the majority of the headaches, because at this point, I've seen it all. If I was just starting, like when I was just starting, how did I keep going? Is just knowing that you have to have a strong why. You have to have a strong why. And my why is I love my parents dearly. They did a great job in so many ways, but they were blue collar. They worked their entire lives. I didn't want that. And I saw it, and I saw that I wanted something better for my future children and all that. So that was my why early on. And now the why is like, okay, cool, it's working. Like, let's keep doing it.
that is amazing. That is amazing. You did say that you've seen a lot and been in this industry for the time that you've been in, you now know a lot. If you could go back in time and have a conversation with a younger Jessie that wants to get into real estate investment, what advice would you give to her?
This is such an easy one, is pick a strategy. Pick one. It doesn't matter which one it is. Pick one that resonates with you. Are you long term? I mean, we do long-term rentals. Are you midterm? Are you short term? Are you fix and flip? Are you, whatever? Like whatever you pick it and get really good at it. And next, get a mentor. Get someone who has been through it before, because when you're ready to blow it all up and you're ready to quit and close the doors, that mentor is going to help you get through those times. And I spent the first, really from 2018 to 2021, so solid 3 years, just like going in circles. And I tried everything. And it was good because I'm a well-rounded investor. But if I would have just picked a strategy early on and gone for it, how much further ahead would I be?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I would say the beauty of it is the lessons that you've learned. I mean, the lessons that you've learned have now, I would say, turned into the information that you're giving out to people that are getting into real estate investment. You letting them know like you're gonna make mistakes because you probably have expectations and you probably have goals that, are good, but sometimes they do require a bit more strategy and a bit more planning. So I think what you've gone through has definitely made you the person that you are today. And we're so honored to have you on the platform. And not just on this platform, even the Unlock Guide, which I
Yeah.
also wanted to speak about. I've seen that it's like if you're listening to this right now and you don't know what I'm talking about, the Unlock Guide is Jessie's real estate investment group. And
Yep.
if you join that, you join a community of people that are so it's it's almost like a family because you have people reaching out and asking questions. And sometimes no, I'm not even sometimes, no question goes unanswered.
Yeah.
And if it does, you're gonna find Jessie, you know, putting up a notification that hey, I'm gonna have a live tonight, and you have that topics. And that's one thing that really moved me because you're really passionate about this. Now, I just want to give you the opportunity to tell people a bit more about the Unlock Guide on Facebook. To people just hearing me talk about this, they don't know what is Tim talking about. I want you to really explain what kind of a place this is because I experienced it myself. I got to join in and I
Oh,
got to see all the fun interactions. Would you like to share more about this baby that you
yeah.
have?
Yeah. So about a couple years into my like full-time Burr investment, I was invited to speak it was kind of a debate. I was debating long-term and I was against, not again, I mean, we're friends, but I was up against a short-term rental. And it was my first time ever public speaking. I was so nervous. And we did our thing. We were up there 45 minutes, whatever it is, come down. And I will not exaggerate. 10 people came up to me and was like, how do I learn more? What do I do? How do I learn more? Like, you have to put a course together, you have to do something. So I didn't really I don't know, at that time, I didn't really have a lot of time. I didn't have my systems and processes like super slick, how they are now on the rental side. So I didn't really have the capacity. So I started the Facebook group and it was a really slow start into helping other people. This is a couple years in. We have thousands of members. We do tons of free giveaways, free trainings. I have a freebie for you for the audience, the Agent's Guide to Becoming an Investor. So if you're
Oh,
listening to this, you're a real estate agent, we have a guide that helps you figure out where you are now, what
oh,
what skill sets are important, and how you can take the next step to become stop working for other people, start working for yourself. And so we just tons of stuff like that, right? And if anyone has questions, they post it there. Like you said, yeah, I answer everything. And so it's a few years in, and honestly, it's been so good. One of my favorite parts is the live stream we do every single Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. And people come on as guests. I have specific topics. We do open Q&A. We do something different every week, but it's anything real estate related. It's from all the way from mindset to actual like tactical, tangible, step by step. What do I do? So it's fun. And I have absolutely loved building this community over the past couple of years.
and it is a really nice community. But back to what you just said, if you missed it, Jesse just said, we now have access to a free guide. Guys, if you wanted to get in on this is the best time ever because you have information. You have information from the professionals, from people that have gone through it all and seen it all. And now they know exactly what they need, what you need to do to get the results and to achieve the goals that you need to achieve in your real estate investment career. So it will be in the description.
Awesome.
Everything will be in the description. Please click on that. And if you are very curious, you're wondering, how can I find Jesse? I will tell you one of the ways that you can find Jesse is on Facebook, and that's the Unlock Guide. So Unlock Guide, and I think you really won't be lost. It's a nice, bright,
I'm in there all the time.
yeah, it's amazing. And you in the right group when you just welcomed and you see how much of a family this is. Now, Jesse, do you have any other social media handles that people can reach out to you on?
Yes, we're on TikTok, Instagram. My live streams go to YouTube also, so you can subscribe there, and we'll have those all linked.
All right, you heard
Yeah.
it yourself. And any final words to all our listeners and up and coming real estate investors out there?
Yeah, you guys, real estate will not just change your life, your family's life, your children's lives, like generational. And I know we hear that all the time, generational wealth, but it's because it's true. So as long as it's not going to happen overnight, especially if you're trying a million different things, it's never going to happen. But if you pick a strategy, you get good guidance, good mentorship, you don't have to make all the 10 years of mistakes that I made. And you can just plug and play a system to get to that, to get out of your job, to stop working for clients, to work for yourself, to work when you want, where you want. It's worth every single headache and there's headaches. If anyone tells you something won't go wrong there, that's a lie. There's
Yeah.
headaches, you'll make mistakes, but if you can get through all that, the outcome is worth every single bit of blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, that is amazing advice. Jessie, thank you so much. You have been an
Welcome.
amazing guest.
Thank
And
you.
I really feel like there is so much because judging from all that I've seen you talk about, I know there's so much that you could talk about. But unfortunately, time is not on our side. But if you're listening to this and you enjoyed this, please share it with a friend, share it with someone that wants to get into real estate investment. Go visit Jessie's Facebook group, YouTube. You've heard it here. And till we meet again next time, it's been Timothy Caetano, and I was joined by Jessie Lang. Thank you so much for listening and take care.
Thank you, guys.